I first announced my run for Congress, I had this random white woman, liberal, walk up to me and ask, well, what about you isn't Democrat? To which I responded, well, besides my skin color, what about me is Democrat? And it was at that very moment that she realized that God gave her enough common sense to ask me about my values.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your man Wise, and today we got to check out a couple clips, man. But there's one video that's going viral right now. There's a young lady running for Congress. She gets accosted by a white liberal woman who just made an assumption that she is liberal. And this phrase is out there now that I was born black, not a Democrat. I got a couple clips to share. Like, share, subscribe. Let's get into it.
Growing up, black in America, you're told that you're supposed to just be a Democrat. So one day I asked myself, why am I a Democrat? And so I did the research of why I'm a Democrat, looked up what the Democrats were about, then I did research about what the Republicans were about, and I realized that I've never been a Democrat. Anything that I stand for, everything that I was raised, my beliefs, my thoughts, it's all towards the Republican Party. And so then whenever I got there, I was able to get rid of my TDS, my Trump derangement syndrome, and I was able to open up my eyes and actually listen to them and give them a chance. And black people, we don't like to be stereotyped or penalized or placed in a category. So I'm like, if I'm doing that to him and I don't want that done to me, then who am I? So it just kind of put me in a different mind space.
Wow, that was so well said, and I absolutely love your shirt. I think everyone is going to want to buy one of these shirts. So cute. Well, thank you so much for your time and for your support. Thank you.
That was awesome. This is a free thinker. This is somebody who took the time to do their research, got a chance to look at the principles and the foundation of each party, and then made a decision accordingly. So many people are starting to do that, and I'm glad that that is the case. Now, you've had a lot of people that vote blue no matter who, not because they believe in the party, but that's just because what they thought or what they were told that they were supposed to do. And the last time I checked, we are an American citizen, and we get a right to exercise our vote no differently than anyone else. And we get to do that based on the policies, the candidate, so forth and so on. And if we believe, or if their policies actually work with our foundation and what our beliefs are, we get a chance to support said candidate. I'm glad to see that this young lady here decided to do her own research and make a decision for herself. And you're starting to see more and more people do that. What I would like to see is in 26 and 28, the black vote goes from, an 80-20 situation, and what it used to be a 90-10 situation, down to a 45-55, 60-40 type situation, to where it's not necessarily, hey, I'm going to just support the Democrat Party. I am going to vote the party that more aligns with my beliefs, whether that's party or candidate. And I'm not saying that you got to go be a Republican. What I am saying is that be a informed voter. Do not be a low IQ voter. Let's keep it going. Now, this video right here, it's going viral. It's an old video. I would assume that a lot of these kids that are in this video is probably my age, maybe a little older now, but this thing's going viral.
This 90s interview where black people were asked their opinion on white people has gone viral because the answers are very different from today.
What do you think of white people?
White people, they straight, They just like me,
Okay.
All white people ain't in the same boat, you know what I'm saying? Because if you was a prejudiced white man, you wouldn't be standing here talking to us, right?
Sure.
So I don't have anything against you.
Just like me. Just a different color skin, that's about it.
You find there's a difference in the way you're treated by white people as opposed to black people?
They haven't treated me wrong in no kind of way.
Never?
Never.
Nothing wrong with white people. I love them just like I love the blacks.
I'll say this, that's nice to see. And this was in the 90s. Today, our society is so fractured right now, and to be honest with you, it's concerning, and it's scary. We've had multiple incidents that have happened to where you have people defending the unthinkable, and I'm not going to get into that on this video. You have a racial divide, like something that honestly I haven't really seen nor experienced in this country. Now, the one beautiful thing I will say about living in Maryland, if you don't live in Baltimore City, for the most part, it's pretty diverse everywhere you are, and we're all around each other, and we've all realized that we're all going through the same things. We're dealing with these same high taxes, and we're not much different than one another. That's the one beautiful thing, and that's a lot of the reason why I chose to raise my kids, in this state, and in this area, is because, it's a diverse, area. You get a chance to, be around people of all ilks. You know, in my neighborhood, we have black people, white people, we have Indians. We have a little bit of everything in our neighborhood, and it's all love. People speak, people say hi. If you're in need, there's help. And for whatever reason, there is a fracture in this country. And you have this push that racism is at an all-time high in this country, when I don't necessarily think that's the case. And the crazy thing is that, you know, there's not a whole lot of racism going on, and it's gotten to the point to where they're manufacturing it. They're making it up. And they're looking for reasons to be angry. And it's just really unfortunate, because just in the 90s, just 30 years ago or so, people didn't feel like this. Black people didn't feel the way that they feel about white people today, you know, en masse. And it's just really, really sad. Let's check this video out from Donald Trump, you know, and he's talking about anybody that disagrees with the left, you are racist. Check this out.
Donald, so switching topics here. You seen what happened to Joe Rogan, right? It's
a hard segment.
Him being called a racist and everything like that. I wonder, what's your reaction to when someone calls you a racist? What's your initial reaction?
Well,
to
it
that?
used to be a terrible reaction, but now everybody's called a racist today.
Yeah.
Anybody that's the enemy of the other side, people that are the exact opposite of racist are called racists. And it's a very hurtful word, but it's lost a lot of its meaning, because everybody is being called a racist today by the radical left, when actually they're the racists. They're really the racists in the truest sense of the word. So, you know, they call Joe Rogan, they call anybody they disagree with a racist. So it tends to lose its meaning. And the people get it, you know. With the black community, my vote was so much higher than in the past with other Republicans. But with the Hispanic community, they don't want to write about it, but the Hispanics, the vote was so incredible. You know, along the Texas border, the other night in Texas, I endorsed 33 candidates, and every single one of them won the election. There were a couple of runoffs, but they're all leading substantially. You have, I think, 3 runoffs, but they're all leading substantially. They'll win in the next 2 months. But we were 33-0. I didn't see any stories about it. I see no stories about it.
Why do you think that is?
Because the press is corrupt. They're dishonest. They don't want to say anything good.
Is it all about money though? Because I feel like I don't feel like it's not actually about their morals. I feel like it's just about money.
I don't think it's money. I think it's a combination. It's money and power and something. It's something. They're sick.
I mean, something we deal with too is we have our page and we're kind of controversial with the stuff we do. So we face a lot of censorship too, like something we all deal with. Our Instagram page got taken down, and they actually sent us a notice because it was too political, our Full Send Instagram page. And we were just posting all about the Afghanistan stuff, not even taking a side.
Well, you know, look, at a certain point, they'll do it if they feel that they have to. Joe Rogan's not a racist.
No.
Okay? And he's a very interesting guy that people like listening to. But, you know, they've been hitting him very hard. I did tell him one thing: stop apologizing. Stop apologizing.
What was his reaction to that when you told him?
I don't know, because I got the word. I put the word out.
Did he ever reach out to you about going on?
I don't know. I'd have to ask my people. You know,
Don's got
I have a
for
lot
that,
of
Kyle.
people.
Don's got
No,
people
because
for
I saw back in, I think during the debate times, you said that he should moderate a debate.
Yeah,
he'd be much
I've seen
better.
that, yeah.
Well, he's much more talented than Chris Wallace.
That'd be great.
I'll say this, man. The left has weaponized racism, or the racist term. They've weaponized it. If you go against the alphabet community, you're racist. If you don't, agree with, pregnancy terminations with no restrictions, racist. They've literally weaponized a term, and it has lost a little bit of its luster. No different than the fascist term, no different than the Nazi term, no different than calling someone Hitler. They've used these terms, they've thrown these terms out there, and they're losing their luster. And it's just really, really sad, because it's not about money. Yeah, we know the left, they want to make that money, but it's really about power. And it's about the ability to implement policies that will take this country to hell. That's what it's really about with them. They want a country that is so immoral that they're willing to accept anything. That's ultimately what they want. But this last clip here, I want to share with you, because this young lady right here, this young lady I'm about to share with you guys, she says it all. I'm not going to add a lot of context. I'm going to let that video play. And I appreciate you guys, man.
When I first announced my run for Congress, I had this random white woman, liberal, walk up to me and ask, well, what about you isn't Democrat? To which I responded, well, besides my skin color, what about me is Democrat? And it was at that very moment that she realized that God gave her enough common sense to ask me about my values. Now, don't get me wrong, I was raised to vote Democrat down the ballot, so when I first started, I would say things like, I'm a Republican, but I'm not a conservative. But now I know all too well I am a full-fledged, hardcore conservative, and I'm proud of it. I mean, my favorite saying is I was born black, not Democrat. But in all seriousness, whenever I began to think for myself politically, the choice was easy. I mean, why would I want to belong to a party whose mission is to infringe on the Second Amendment as if a criminal would ever participate in something like a mandatory buyback? Why would I want to belong to and endorse a godless party? Because there is no such thing, and I mean no such thing as a trans child. We have confused children and sick, enabling adults. Why would I want to belong to a party that takes pride in shedding innocent blood? Number one, as if that's not what God hates. Number two, as if there's not a black market for baby organs. And number three, as if abortion clinics didn't start in the hood. Because if you think Trump is bad, you should research exactly who Margaret Sanger was. But speaking of the black community, why would I want to belong to a party who's responsible for the foundation of the Triple K? But it's not just that. Supposedly in the 1900s, the party switched, right? But what never changed, what I noticed never changed, is Democrats' love for immigration and how they have always prioritized that over the black community. I mean, imagine every single Democrat leader helping you joke about what a black job is in 2024, exposing your ignorance on 1924 and how imperative the Immigration Act of that year was, how it was all reversed in 1965 with the Hart-Celler Act, how Congress refuses the advice of the Rockefeller Commission and the Hesburgh Commission, and how to this day they refuse to adopt the Barbara Jordan Blueprint, validating every single thing that Dr. Claude Anderson spoke of generally, but specifically what Mrs. King spoke of in 1991 with her letter to Congress. Now look, I'm not saying that the Republican Party is perfect. No, nobody's perfect. What I'm saying is I saw with Malcolm X when he said that the liberals were the worst thing that could ever happen to the Western Hemisphere, but y'all ignore that, just like how y'all ignore LBJ saying, and I quote, I'm going to have Negroes voting Democrat for the next 200 years, and by God, 60 years later, I see no sign of recourse, but rest assured your vote is your voice, even if it is a whisper. Thank you, Council. Mayor Parker, whenever you're ready, you can call your next speaker.
Amen. Whoa. With that being said, I'm going to end this video. I'm not going to add any more content because she said everything that needed to be said. I appreciate you guys pulling up today. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all share this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. If you are subscribed, click that all button on the notification so you never miss an upload. If you would like to go the extra mile and support the channel in another way, join the ARP family, or you can buy your man a coffee. That link's in the description box below. I appreciate the support, the love. Keep God first in your life. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
Vibes so raw, can't hide the truth. Words so sharp.